When the FBI raided the homes of police and an attorney in 2024, it was the beginning of the end.
Who else is involved? Where does this stop? How deep does it go?
How do we trust law enforcement? How do we trust the system?
Now, officers of the law are admitting they betrayed the badge, letting drunk drivers go for a price.
The color of justice is green.
Should this have been caught earlier? Of course, much earlier.
The man who admitted to pulling the strings is extremely well connected, Thomas Clear III.
Clear was the hub around which all of the spokes turned.
And I hope all of you go down and you're gonna get what you deserve. Every single one of you.
4 investigates. Clear deception.
We went through more than 2,000 of Thomas Clear's cases. We found police officers from multiple agencies with suspicious records. 1,600 DWI cases dismissed, allowing accused drunk drivers to evade consequences.
People close to Clear haven't wanted to talk, but through public records, news archives, and documents never before made public, we have identified how systems failed to catch Clear's deception years ago.
Part of what made this criminal enterprise work is Clear's connections. 4 Investigates work to uncover Clear's history begins long before this scandal did.
1979. The UNM graduate is the son of an accomplished lawyer. Thomas Clear Jr., a U.S. Navy veteran, ran for public office 3 times, including a bid to be New Mexico's governor. His son, Thomas Clear III, appeared to have it all. Outstanding Greek man at UNM's Sigma Alpha Epsilon fraternity, leadership roles, and named one of the outstanding young men of America. He graduated law school in Texas before passing New Mexico's bar in '82, and then went to work for his dad. Just 4 years later, the first red flag. 1986, an Albuquerque Tribune headline. Lawyer stalls own trial 8 months. Clear faced an assault and battery charge and tried to use a speedy trial rule to get the case dismissed. However, a district court judge ruled Clear himself caused the delay. By telling prosecutors he needed more time, prosecutors told their witnesses they didn't need to show up to court. The judge called the case. Clear was there. Witnesses were not. Case dismissed. Tommy Jewell was one of the judges who handled the case. Clear worked for Jewell as his campaign manager. Clear resigned from his campaign and Jewell removed himself from the case. Clear says his DWI scheme began a few years later, in the 1990s, paying cops to miss court and get cases tossed. In 1998, Clear takes a federal drug smuggling case representing Ricardo Rick Mendez. He gets his federal charges dropped, and then Rick goes to work for Clear. We now know as the right-hand man in this criminal enterprise.
Clear's reputation as a prominent DWI attorney quickly grew, from representing a dozen suspected drunk drivers in '95 to more than 150 by 2003, with an eye-popping dismissal rate that year close to 75%.
Are DWIs generally hard cases for you to defend against?
Yes. DWIs are one of the harder cases to defend.
KOB legal expert and local defense attorney Ahmad Assad says Clear's well-known good luck with DWI cases should have been a sign.
There are a number of reasons why somebody should have picked up on there's something wrong here. Somebody should have.
Someone did pick up on it. In 2004, we talked to DWI Resource Center Executive Director Linda Atkinson.
You cannot dismiss DWIs in the state of New Mexico.
Data we collected showed 2004 was one of Clear's most successful years, 150 clients, with nearly 80% of their cases thrown out. Atkinson says she now knows what that nagging feeling was so many years ago.
I knew it. I knew it back then. And we didn't have the manpower to go and dig and be more public about that.
But she knows there's a big difference between what you feel and what you can prove. 4 Investigates discovered one of Clear's former employees had that same feeling, that something was up, taking his concerns to our state Supreme Court.
It looked like you tried to be the whistleblower on this thing Years ago.
But I didn't know anything about the DWI stuff, is how he conducted himself with these officers.
Clear hired Donald Rodriguez in the mid-2000s, answering the phones and interacting with clients at his northeast Albuquerque home office. Clear fired Rodriguez after a falling out in 2009. Then Rodriguez says Clear accused him of making harassing phone calls, and the legal games began.
So they sent a criminal summons
To the wrong house.
to the wrong house, knowing that you weren't there.
Correct.
And then showed up at your current house
With the failure to appear warrant.
to haul you in.
4 cops.
4 police officers.
4 of them.
Rodriguez spent a day and a half in jail. The charge quickly dropped after phone records showed no harassment. Rodriguez went after Clear for malicious prosecution with a civil lawsuit, and he went a step further. In 2009, he sent a letter to the disciplinary board of the New Mexico Supreme Court about what he saw at Clear's office. The 3-page letter claims Clear told him
I don't want a paper trail.
of client payments. Rodriguez says Clear once used a paint mask to fake a sickness.
He had me faxed to a judge, his office, a continuance with a doctor's note saying that he may have contracted swine flu to get a continuance, and this judge was down south somewhere.
This is long before COVID.
This is long before COVID. And so I told him, I said, and so I did it. I did what I was told, knowing that there was nothing wrong with him.
And how he'd brag about winning DWI cases. And when someone asked how, he'd gesture indicating he did some type of favor for someone. The last line, "It is my opinion that Mr. Clear's ethics are in serious question," Rodriguez wrote. The disciplinary board refused to get involved with an ongoing civil lawsuit. They told Rodriguez it's on him to reopen the matter should he choose to after his civil case. Clear paid Rodriguez a hefty settlement to drop the civil suit, and Rodriguez never followed up with the board.
It's disturbing to me that the legal system didn't look into it. They're the ones that are the guardians of the attorneys, and they just turned a blind eye, just left it alone.
The scheme continued. Now convicted criminals, former officers, admit Clear's list of crooked cops was getting longer. Close to 24 are implicated from New Mexico's 3 largest police agencies. But data points to many others.
I think a lot of it's going to start hitting retired officers at this point.
Officers who helped Clear release more than 1,000 suspected drunk drivers back onto our streets.
And this also empowers someone. So now they're like, I got away with it again. I'm going to be able to do it again. That's what angers me probably the most.
That's exactly what happened.
Get out of the car, dude.
Cesar Munoz is accused of driving drunk
Recording started.
when he crashed into a Valencia County Sheriff's deputy vehicle last year.
Stop moving.
This is his 3rd DWI arrest, but he's never been convicted. With Clear in his corner, the first 2 were dropped.
Get over here, stop!
Bridget Piper
I'm gonna tase you!
almost hit a Corrales police officer last year. Then, police say, she plowed into a car at a busy intersection. She ran from the crash, trying the handle of a passing car. The chaos unfolding here is a decade in the making, including 2 DWIs that attorney Thomas Clear made disappear, followed by criminal charge after criminal charge, also dismissed. DWI watcher Atkinson says Clear is a symptom of a broken system. He found a way to monetize.
They're always saying, well, we need to hold the drunk driver accountable. And I was to the point where I'm saying, we need to hold the system accountable.
Coming up,
So I'm gonna ask you one more time. How much you guys drink today?
Clear's connections go beyond police officers.
I think that we would be foolish not to be looking at the criminal justice system as a whole.
4 Investigates examines the other relationships Clear made in a system designed for fairness.